Today I'll be covering the third part of my review process, and if you haven't seen the first and second parts, go and look at them now before you watch this video. So this part is addressing the most important questions I ask myself in my monthly review and annual review. Probably one of the most satisfying things that I do in my weekly review is my weekly tidy up. When I do this, I go through all my notes, voice notes, to-do lists, emails, anything that can be organized or cleared out. So what this looks like is my inbox is on 0 for my mail, and my to-do lists are all organized and prioritized from most to least important tasks. What this means is first thing Monday morning when I go down to sit at my desk, I have a lot of clarity and my mind is really clear in regards to what I have to do. While having a daily review is really important, I think kind of zooming out and looking at your week from like a bird's eye point of view is really important as well. A good way to visualize this is like a single data point. So imagine a graph in this case. By itself, the data point might not be very clear, but when you combine it with another 6 data points to make a whole week, suddenly the picture becomes a lot more clear. By doing this, you might identify something that you wouldn't have found out by just doing daily reviews. So you might find patterns in regards to your thought process or how you feel. Considering our emotions will fluctuate from day to day, I think doing weekly reviews probably enables a deeper insight into how you feel about stuff. I will admit, out of all the reviews, the weekly review is probably the one in which I'm the least consistent doing, but when I do a weekly review, I just feel like I'm, mentally decluttering. I feel like I'm on track, I know how all my projects are progressing, and I just feel like it's a fresh start. Moving on to the annual review, one of the first things I'll ask in my review for the annual review is what are the biggest insights and discoveries that I've had throughout the whole year. The kind of things you mention here are quite significant because they're from a period of 365 days. So they're probably the kind of things that will highly influence the person that you are by the end of the year. These are pearls of wisdom that you might have gained from a colleague, from a partner, from a book that you will probably follow for potentially the rest of your life. In this case, it applies to more than just insights though. It could be just changes that you've made throughout your life. For example, for me, Notion, an app that I use, has completely revolutionized organization, how I work, and it's made me so much more productive. By looking back on your life in this way every year, I think you might realize that you've done more things and learned more things than you actually thought you have done. When you take into account New Year, New Me hashtag posts and, New Year's Eve resolutions, it seems to be that our culture puts a lot of emphasis on making goals for each year. But here's the catch. I don't think people should make New Year's Eve resolutions because they are expected to, or because they want to impress others. Because the data shows that statistically, if you do this, you probably won't stick to your goals. I think these New Year's resolutions or goals should come from an internal desire to want to improve, to want to get better, to want to, experience more out of life. Because if that internal desire and that drive isn't there, I think it's going to be much harder to hold yourself accountable and to stick to your yearly goals. But for me, I do have goals, but I just realize they are not the be all and end all. They're more like a lighthouse in the storm. They're like a compass in the wilderness. They allow me to roughly stick to the right path and make sure that I'm doing things that I really enjoy and that benefit me. Because I think a big part of life isn't necessarily about the goals, it's also about the struggle and the things you learned and the person that you became to get there. Before I wrap up this video, I think it's really important to acknowledge quite a few YouTubers that have given me insight throughout the year and who have especially influenced my review process, which has been really helpful for me. In particular, they are Thomas Frank, Matt D'Avella, Ali Abdul, Elizabeth Phillips, Unjaded Jade, CNanners, Better Ideas, and many more. If you like this kind of content and you enjoyed this video in particular, then definitely check out my other 2 videos on this review series. If you like this video, then you might enjoy the video I did here, where I do a review on the book Atomic Habits, which is about how to master your own habits, such as doing a daily review. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you there. Adios, amigos.